Going on, fellow junkies? Horror Junkies 509, Kyle 13th, coming at you again today, you guys, and I hope you're out all having a killer day. It's a Friday. It's a good day. I'm done with work, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to hang out with you guys for a little while because this is what I love to do. I'm actually going to be doing something I haven't done in probably a little over 6 years, give or take, you guys. I really want to get back into reviewing movies. You know, I'm never going to be the first review up on YouTube. But, you know, and I feel like I really need to review a movie. I really want to come out here and do it. I haven't done this in a really long time. I don't know if a lot of my viewers remember the Junkie movie reviews. I'm bringing that back, and this is going to be the first go at it again. Way back in about 6 years ago, I finished what I did was the Junkie movie reviews, the alphabet series, and I did a whole series of reviews going each letter of the alphabet, and I did that, and I finished it. And I haven't done one since. So I really kind of want to get back into this because I want to talk about these movies as well. I'm going to try and keep it to newer movies. I'm not going to do older movies unless you guys have a really specific request. So feel free to request a Junkie Movie Reviews episode if you like. But I'm going to try and stick it to newer movies because, you know, that's the stuff that people are going to be watching. So I'm going to go ahead and do a deep dive into this and just see how it goes and see if this is something that I can bring back to the channel. And, you know, I was really having a tough time deciding what was going to be my returning movie that I'm going to review for the Junkie Movie Reviews. And I just watched this the other night, whatever it was, and I've been hearing a lot of controversial, like, this isn't horror, this is hardly horror, it's intro to horror, it's really soft, it's really whatever. And so, like, I sat down and watched it, and that was kind of my expectation. And I watched it, and I was like, I don't know where all this is coming from. I thought this was pretty legit. So what am I going to be reviewing, you guys? It is 2025's Clown in the Cornfield. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. I will try my best to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. But if I have to dig into spoilers, I will do my best to let you know before I do it. So if you guys do want to go watch this, and I am telling you now, I recommend this for horror fans, 100%. So I'm going to try and do this just kind of like I used to do my other reviews. If you guys want me to change, tweak, add, subtract, whatever it is, just let me know. So, like I said, 2025's Clown in a Cornfield. This is a movie that's based off a book. I haven't read the book. I've only watched the movie. So, cool thing about this is it's directed by Eli Craig, and he directed Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you guys have not seen it, stop everything, go see that movie. It's absolutely amazing. I am not big into comedy horror, but that one is just done absolutely right. The characters are amazing. The whole story and misunderstanding of everything is just an absolute blast, and it's grisly and just a good time. But he also did Netflix's Little Evil. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's kind of like almost like an Omen, Damien kind of story where the kid's, you know, the son of the devil or, you know, just evil incarnate, whatever the case may be. But I watched it a long time ago. I don't really remember a lot about it. So this guy's a horror director, and he's done quite a few good things. And just by Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I recommend it alone. So literally, watch it. We do have our star, Katie Douglas, as Quinn. She's going to be our main character for this. We also have a familiar face, and trust me, this is a familiar face. And I will try and post up pictures and stuff like that to try to make this a little bit more fun. We do have, where's his name? Kevin Durand. You will honestly recognize this guy from quite a few movies, but you might not be able to put your thumb on his character because not a lot of times does he play like really big, well-known characters and stuff like that. We're going to know him from Abigail. We're going to know him from the Tragedy Girls, and then you're not going to recognize him from King of the Planet of the Apes because he plays one of the apes, and of course you can recognize his voice, but you're not going to recognize his face. But, you know, he's definitely in there. And so to go ahead and get into this plot, you guys kind of get right into this video. So we do have a father and a daughter, Quinn being the daughter, and her dad is a doctor. They're moving into a town called Kettle Springs, and so Quinn's dad's going to come in to be the new town doctor. This town is a little bit kind of wonky and run down and kind of not at its peak spirit because they recently had their corn syrup factory shut down, and that was kind of like the big source of income, kind of the big source of, you know, pride for this town. The factory kind of had like a town beloved mascot, Friendo the Clown. And so that's really the clown that, you know, we're seeing throughout this entire movie. And so they're moving to this town. they're kind of getting acquainted, learning about Friendo, learning about everybody, and introducing stuff. Kevin Durant is like the mayor guy. He's the guy, like the big welcome to the town kind of guy. And then Quinn's meeting the kids. They're being like little YouTubers. They like to make prank videos and stuff like that. And so you're really kind of getting a good understanding of this town, but slightly a little bit off because everyone's a little bit damaged from that factory being closed down. And as we're going through the movies, the kids are pulling off pranks and stuff like that for the videos. The town adults are kind of over the kids. The kids are kind of over the adults. And then after a certain time, we start seeing a clown in the cornfield, and that's Friendo, and he starts picking the kids off one by one. I'm just going to go to my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, so Quinn and the dad are mourning because they did lose their wife, the mom, and so their relationship is a little bit frantic. So they're not quite seeing eye to eye. She wasn't happy that they moved here. The dad's just trying to just do whatever he can to make sure he's got a job, just get through the hard times of losing your significant other. And let's see here. Yeah, and so pretty much once you kind of get to start seeing the clown, you start seeing him, pick people off one by one, and it's all really targeted towards the kids. But after a certain point, you start realizing that there's more than one Friendo, and that's where I'm going to kind of leave the plot. Biggest thing is, this is pretty much, to me, is a straight up slasher movie, and so I really feel like when people say this is an intro to horror, it really kind of confuses me, because for me in my time, an intro to horror was Hocus Pocus, Ghostbusters, Monster Squad, stuff like this. But this is like a full-on, like, gory slasher movie. And yeah, like one of the taglines, this is a dark comedy, a slasher horror, a teen horror, a horror movie, a mystery, and a thriller. So I don't know if like maybe it's intro to horror because it's teen horror, but I mean, I don't know it. If you guys have an understanding of why they think this is kind of like a lax slasher or like an intro to horror, I mean, I don't feel like I would show my kids this right off the bat. I would hit them with Hocus Pocus and the other titles that I mentioned. And that was my source of confusion, because I felt like every single kill had a pretty decent set of gore. All the kills were kind of creative, and like they actually tried to make the kills really well done. And I feel like the effects were really good. There's some I feel like I saw some CGI here and there, but not enough to where it really took me out of the movie, which is nice for a change. But honestly, I'm really kind of struggling to see where people didn't like this movie, or just didn't think it was up to par. Now, I'm saying it's gory, but it's not like a Art the Clown. It's not like Victor Crowley. You're not like seeing you're not seeing like those types of kills. Simple kills, but I think they're really well done. Like, let's just say this. The body count, there's 16 deaths in this movie. Some of them are the kids, some of them are the adults, and so I don't really want to get into too particulars, just in case you guys want to watch this movie. But one of my favorite kills is this kind of popular girl. You'll know her right away when you see her. One of the clowns drives a pitchfork into her stomach and lifts her up and makes her break through a light fixture. And for me, I was like, I don't know, I really just like the kill, because if it was just a pitchfork to the stomach, not a big deal. But like they went the extra mile to kind of stab her and then lift her up and pin her up against the ceiling and break the light fixture. I really kind of enjoyed that. We do have a lot of like sharp objects going in the necks, and they pull it out, and then there's blood spraying everywhere. Like decent gore, and like I wouldn't say they're like groundbreaking kills or anything like that, but I feel like they didn't try to redo the same old thing every single kill. They kind of did something different. They used different weapons. There's a chainsaw with a clown at one point, and then so mystery to me on why people think this is just an intro to horror and not up to speed. I think this is gorier than maybe some of the Friday the 13th movies, or at least on par. But I myself, that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to review this movie, just because I was so caught off guard on why people thought that. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments on what you think about this movie. But anyway, like I said, 16 kills in this movie, so it's honestly quite a full movie. This is about an hour and 36-minute movie, so I think it's a pretty good spread. The ending, the kind of the reveal of what's going on, it feels like almost like a reverse version of Children of the Corn. So that might be a spoiler in a weird way, but that's how I envisioned it almost. It's just, they want to just clear these out because they think the crop is bad kind of a deal. So probably revealing a little bit too much, but I'm not getting too specific. As far as I want to go ahead and rate this as a gore scale, you guys. I don't know if you guys remember the gore scale. I'd rate how much gore is in this movie, and it's I used to be 1 to 10. Now I'm going to do 1 to 5. So for a gore scale, I'm going to give this honestly a 4 out of 5. Like, I mean, I'm not saying this is an absolute bloodbath. This isn't like the scene from The Shining when the elevator doors open and it's just gushing out blood. But every single kill pretty much had a good amount of gore. Everything was kind of like on screen. It wasn't like, oh, they take it off screen. Like, you saw the kills on screen, and I love that. Once you start taking kills off screen, it really starts, waning on me. But some ratings for this, I really kind of want to talk about some of these ratings. So IMDb, out of 10, it gives it a 5.7. It's a serviceable review. Letterboxd, out of 5, gives us a 2.7. A little bit lower than I would have expected, but it's just kind of a different people rating from different spots. As for me, I'm going to give this Clown in a Cornfield 2025 a 3.5 out of 5. I really did enjoy this movie. This is on a one-time watch, so I could feel a little bit different after a second one. Let me feel that out, and if I honestly make any changes on that, I will let you guys know. But I feel like it's a 3.5 out of 5. I had a good time watching it. There wasn't a lot of things that really annoyed me in it. I just enjoyed the ride. I let the clowns do their things, and like clown, slasher, put it all together in a cornfield. This had my attention right away. Honestly, you guys, so this is kind of my structure of how I want to review these movies. Like, I'm going to talk about the title, the year it came out. We're going to talk about, what kind of movie it is. We're going to talk about the director. We're going to talk about the star. We're going to talk about, a familiar face. We'll go over the plot. We'll talk about body count, if it's that kind of movie. We'll talk about gore scales. We'll do some ratings from other places besides myself, so you guys can kind of gauge these reviews yourself. But honestly, you guys, overall, I feel like this was a great, fun movie. Good gore. I enjoyed the clown aspect. I enjoyed the cornfield aspect. And I don't know. I'm still kind of confused about how everyone else feels about this movie. But, everyone has their right. And I was just trying to do a video to see if I put this out there and see if I could get some more understanding of maybe how the rest of the world is thinking. Or maybe I might turn you on to this movie and you might like it as well. So that's going to do it for me. The first episode back at the Horror Junkie, the Junkie movie reviews from Horror Junkies 509. A Clown in a Cornfield. Enjoyed it. 3.5 out of 5. And I will definitely watch this again, and I hope it stays true. So that's going to do it for me. Horror Junkies 509, Kyle 13th, signing out just until next time. You guys already know it. I've been sentenced to life. I am a horror lifer. And you guys have a killer day. Clown in a Cornfield definitely gets a solid for sure. Let me know what you guys think of my review down in the comments. Also, let me know what you think about A Clown in a Cornfield. I'm just kind of curious, you guys. Stay bloody and have a killer day. Until Horror Junkies 509 rides again.